What is up, everyone? We are back again. Episode number, I don't even know,
Six.
six? Six?
Yeah.
Something like that. We always never know the episode, but it's okay.
We'll get it 1 week. We'll get it 1 week.
We'll get it all the week. That's right. So we have a very special episode. This is the World Cup edition, and I
Yeah.
totally forgot to put on my USA jersey. I just remembered that right now, but I'm not gonna go put it on because we got too much stuff to talk about right now because there's a lot of stuff going on, especially with the World Cup. We got what else are we talking about? We got Taylor Swift there. I mean, Swifty, everyone's
Yeah.
going crazy. We got a lot of fun stuff to talk about today. So honestly, Nate, what did you think about the game today? USA. What do you think?
We could have won that. That was a really dumb foul, I think. You're sitting there, you got Gareth Bale's back to the goal. You don't need the foul in there. We
I
had a lot of
know.
great chances too.
Yeah, literally, that's the thing. It's like, bro, like I was watching the game. I was actually in class when I was watching this game. I was that dedicated, guys. I'm that dedicated to the World Cup. So literally, I was watching it, and I'm just like, I could tell these guys are like super, super. Their hearts are racing. Everything's super intense. But yeah, that's the thing. He did that foul there. He lacked composure. That's the problem. And honestly, I don't blame him one bit because honestly things were tense. I think it was at the 80th minute mark and we
Yeah.
scored an awesome goal, and that's the thing. It's just like, yeah, he was just totally his nerves got him, and that's I honestly it was a problem, but it's okay because I think we were playing pretty good. We were a little slow at first, honestly, playing it from the back a lot, but we started heating up, and that play that we got with Pulisic and the guy who eventually scored
Oh,
the goal,
yeah.
I think. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. I think it was good. It was a good shot too. Honestly, you see how
Oh,
it was
yeah.
outside his foot. He,
That
I don't
was
know if you
unbelievable.
saw it. I don't know if you saw it, but he acted like he was about to shoot it with his right. So he posted up like he was about to shoot, turn, and then he knocked it with his right foot into the other side. So it was
Nice.
sick. I thought that was awesome.
I didn't pay that close attention. I mean, I was at work all day, stuck and couldn't watch it, unfortunately. But I kind of saw the highlights a little bit after work.
Oh, I was so bad. I was literally in class. The professor's talking everything, and I'm literally like up here, like with my screen, like grabbing my screen and everything, just like trying to get close. I was like, did he hit that with the outside of his foot? Like it was so awesome. I was really enjoying it. Like I'm a big fan of soccer, as you know, as we both are. But
Yeah.
I just thought that was crazy. I was just like, damn, that was a good goal. That was a really good
Oh,
goal.
it was great, man. I mean, US is a tough road ahead. We drawing Wales. We have England and Iran, and we gotta beat Iran by a lot because we got to differentiate ourselves between Wales now because we're draw 1-1 this group stage, and we want to advance. We gotta do a better performance compared to England and Wales, or we gotta score more goals against Iran or beat Iran.
That's a great thing to keep in mind too, that like, yeah, this is going to put us in a lot more pressure if we want to do well, especially later on in the tournament. Another thing I think is actually really cool about the US team that we're playing with is our team is so young. I think I saw earlier it was like 13 people from our squad is age like 24 and younger, which is like insane to me. Like that's
They're all younger than us.
yeah, literally, like that's
People.
crazy. Like literally, we're both 20. Oh wait, actually, no, wait, I'm almost 24. Almost 24. Forgot my age, guys. But yeah, literally, once you become old enough, age is just a number. But yeah, literally, I was honestly blown away by the fact that we did that good and our team's that young. Like that should say something.
The thing is, a lot of teams are that young. Like England, a lot of their guys are teenagers. Like I think one of the guys scoring the first goal was 19.
Oh my gosh. What were you doing at the age of 19, Nate? I think we were still playing Angry Birds or something back in
No, it's probably drinking too much beer in college. Having a
Yeah,
good
you know
time,
how it
bro.
is. You know how it is. But yeah, literally, I thought that was really cool that when I saw that stat, I was just blown away by how young our team was. So that's good. I mean, in the future, I mean,
Yeah.
we're gonna be looking really good. I mean, we got Pulisic, we got McKennie, and we got the guy who scored the goal. I keep forgetting his name. What's his name again?
But
It's so bad. He's the one guy who scored the goal, and I just keep forgetting his name. It's very bad. But
yeah.
yeah, literally, yeah, I thought we did good. One thing I noticed during the game, and I don't know how closely you're watching it, but I was watching it pretty darn close, and I was seeing that repeatedly they looked like they were out to get Pulisic. I don't know what it was, but no matter
Yep.
what, there was this one defender, I forgot his name, but he was literally chasing after Pulisic, and he was on Pulisic's side. And when he was going up against him, every single time he'd like foul him or get a really close foul, just play like super hardcore defense on him. Another thing too is even Gareth Bale. I saw when he was playing defense on Pulisic, he like slapped his face on one of the plays or like put his hand in his face, like playing like a little like sus. And like I thought that was really interesting. I think that was one of their plans, just to take out Pulisic, honestly.
I mean, he's their best player for US, arguably, and you gotta play aggressive against your best players. Like you can't just let them get whatever they want.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
you gotta make them work for it.
you gotta make them work for it. Exactly. That's the thing. They were making them work for it for sure. Like I felt kind of bad. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Especially at the beginning of the game, the referee. This match was so interesting because the refereeing was so like weird. It was like at the beginning, for an example, we had a play where literally the referee just like literally was calling everything, like, and like even the slightest bit of touch, he would call a yellow card. And this was what happened to the US at the
Really?
beginning. Yeah, it was at literally like the first two yellow cards of the game were like the most weakest challenges. But then and then the other team, started doing stuff, and he wouldn't call it, and then he would call it. So it's like it was like really like weird refereeing. Even the commentators, when I was listening to it, even the commentators were just like, or I say I was listening to it, but I was actually reading the captions. I was in class. I was in class, but no, literally, it's like it was weird because they were like totally like the refereeing was really weird. And on top of that too, they even had a at the end, near the end of the game,
Mhm.
when there was like an injury to the US. Oh no, there's an injury to the other team. The
Both.
other yeah, the other team, they got injured, Wales, and then they stopped the game and everything. And then like us, like one of our players got injured, and they were like, "Oh, play on," and then they fixed it later. It was like weird. Just the refereeing was just all over the place, kind of. So
What do you
yeah,
think about that? When you're watching soccer, do you prefer this like more hawkish refereeing where they call everything, or do you want them just like play on?
that's a good question because it's like when your team's like down, you really want that hawkish refereeing. You really want that to be like, oh, it was by the line, it was by the line. But yeah, but then when your team's up, obviously you want them to do kind of whatever. How I feel about that is I honestly think that just let the game play on like the old soccer was, like the good old days, right? The only exception I have is the VAR. I kind of like the VAR, and here's
I
why.
hate that. I hate that.
I
But
know, and that's the worst part about it. I know
go
everybody
ahead,
hates it.
go ahead first. I'll tell you why afterwards.
So literally, the only reason I like the VAR, so it's like VAR, it's clear. It's very clear cut. Like, okay, they're either past the line or they're not past the line. Okay. If the ref calls it, okay, the ref calls it. But the thing is, with the VAR, it's fair all around. Okay. It's fair all around. And it's established. You could go back to the camera, you could see, okay, even if they were an inch off, if the next play is an inch off too, for sure it's going to be like that. So it's equal. I mean, it's applicable to both sides. That's why I think VAR is fine. The reason why I say let them play on when it comes to like fouls and getting too into it is from the fact that soccer or football, it's a physical game. And I mean, as much as I hate it, like especially like growing up, like being like someone that's literally like growing up and being younger and everything, like facing bigger opponents obviously would be a little bit more difficult. And I understand that, coming from someone who grew up playing soccer. But at the same time, it's like you want the equal, you want it to be equal. And with that, I think you're able to make it have a little bit more consistency when you have the VAR. So that's how I feel. What about you, Big Nate?
So just refing in general, I've all sports. I look
Screw
at this.
refs. Who needs them?
Yeah, it just so used to bring back to like playing basketball on the court where you call your own fouls.
Yeah,
No,
right. Foul, foul. What? No one saw that. Like, yeah,
but
literally.
yeah, the main thing about repping, like I don't care if they're very hawkish or very like play on. I care if there's consistent throughout the game, consistent foul to foul, consistent like team to team. I care more about the consistency of the refing throughout the game than the actual like how they call. But with VAR, my main issue with it, the aspect of having a ref, a human element, just any just like this feedback, video feedback play with sports in general. Like there's a human element with refing, like part of the game is this like the decision these refs have to make in these like spurts and moments. When you use these like handpicked like moments where you have to choose like hey, we're going to do this video feedback here. It just seems like you still have that human element of the ref choosing or a team flagging a certain area. In basketball, there's so many like offensive fouls. One of the hardest things to call, in my opinion, is the person said, "Are they moving? Are they doing this?" Those call people are running and sprinting up and down the court, and they got to call them like within seconds. Like they're so hard to call. I mean, if we do a VAR and a video feedback for every single time we do this, the game will be unwatchable. And I feel like these video feedback things are making the games harder and harder to watch every single time, whether it's football, soccer, basketball, anything. So I think having that human element and embracing the human factor of it is better. And I think at the end of the day, it just refing in the game, the watching be a lot easier. Just having more fouls and just kind of slows the game down and just makes it more horrendous. And with soccer, you're going to have longer and longer stoppage times because they don't stop that clock. You don't have these 9-10 minute stoppage times, and it's just when's the game going to end? Like it's just terrible for the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, very true. Honestly, that's a great point. One thing I want to say, though, to play devil's advocate, with basketball and soccer, the two main differences is that basketball, you see more plays, I feel like. With soccer, you have that one big play. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's that one big play. With basketball, you're in a game scoring 100 plus points a game. Like with soccer, there's only a few goals. So that's why I think that VAR is so much more important, is because you have so little goals to kind of choose from, or offside. It's nowhere going to happen anywhere as near as the amount of time that basketball. So that's why with basketball, I feel like you kind of need that human element because it's way quicker inherently. It's like, but, with the human element, you got to remember it does have inherent, an inherent ability of error because, we all are humans. We all make mistakes. And that's why I think for the VAR, it's kind of more important to have that for
I
soccer.
think we should embrace the human element of error right there. Just like with the refing, it's part of the sport. Like these refs aren't perfect; they don't do their best. But I would argue soccer is continuously, constantly more and more plays. There's a lot of decisions people are making, going this way, cutting this way, and same way in basketball. I mean, it just happens in these sports that basketball you score more points. I don't think there's inherently more plays or less plays. I just think it's how the sport was designed opens up the sport up for more goals. Like,
True.
I mean, you can say the same thing about like football. Like football, they look at every touchdown. Was that touchdown a touchdown? You could run it 100 yards, no one touched you, and they're gonna look at it. Was this a touchdown?
Was it?
Yeah,
I don't know. I didn't see it.
exactly. It's just how they do it. It's just like you don't need to spend like a minute or two looking at this thing and say, "Is this a touchdown?" Like every single time. Is their feet in? Like it just seems terrible. Like imagine watching a baseball game and they look at every hit. Was it a home run?
I don't know. That's a good question. Let's check VAR. Let's check it.
You don't need that. It's like, come on.
Yeah. That's the thing. With with the VAR, it comes with the risk that you gotta watch the whole thing over again. But yeah, honestly, yeah, I do like it when the game is played because in the end of the day, that's what we want to see. We want to see the sport of soccer. We don't want to see or football. I keep
Like,
forgetting we're Americans.
would you rather have some drone fly above and just monitor and take pictures of certain scenarios, like and say like, "Hey, that foot touched someone, foul. The goal past the line, offsides." Just have like a drone monitor everything. There's no human element of refs. Like, is that what you want?
Yeah, and
That's
honestly,
like it's going towards. Like, what's the point of having a ref if we're going to do VAR every single time?
and you know what's really funny? The fact that the game is being played in Qatar and the Middle East and Dubai, they are known for the amount of cameras they have. So literally, they don't even need to do VAR. They just have the city government always watching to see who fouled who, and then FIFA, they can reach out to the government and figure out, okay, all right, this person fouled at this time. Let's alert the authorities. The authorities are gonna get to know, so they kind of go from there. I'm getting ahead of myself. We got to talk. What did you say?
They'll be gone missing,
The next day, a soccer player goes missing because of the foul they did. Yeah, right. Well, that would be bad. But no, we need to talk about the venue. We need to talk about everything that's going on with the venue because this is the first time, I'm pretty sure, right? Qatar has ever hosted the World Cup.
As far as I know.
So literally, they are going through everything right now. Obviously, any country that hosts the World Cup or city, any venue that hosts the World Cup, there's going to be a lot of people, believe it or not, that show up because it is the world's biggest sport. So it's really interesting to see how they're handling it. So for an example, I saw a thing. So I'm sure everyone has seen it, but the fact that they banned the sale of beer and alcohol literally
Protesting.
2 days before.
I might go to Qatar just to protest on that.
This is
Telling me there's probably a bunch of English men out there. There are probably a bunch of Germans, like all these people going to this country to watch soccer. Who watches soccer sober? Like no one wants to go there and sit in a hot stadium in 100+ degree heat, sober as a gopher and not drink beer. Like at least let them make a beer. Like
yeah, in the desert.
taxes on them. Like they were trying to charge like $90 a beer, including taxes.
Yeah, I'll say one thing, a sidebar. You know it's hot. Okay. I remember watching the game, the soccer game, and literally the commentator even goes, I can see the players are visibly panting. And as you could see, all of the players that literally like at the end of the game, it was like the 80th or something minute mark. I remember I looked over and I saw that all like half the players had their like hands on their knees, just dying from heat exhaustion, just playing. Cause I mean, this is in the middle of the desert, guys. I mean, this is what most people, kind of forget is that they're playing the soccer at 100-degree heat. If you've ever played soccer in 100-degree heat or any sport for that matter in 100-degree heat, playing for as hard as you possibly can, nerves going crazy, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. So yeah, it's really funny to see that.
Just looked up their weather. It is in the high of the mid 80s pretty much for next 14 days, in the 60s and high 60s and 70s with about like a 50% humidity. So it is pretty.
It's not too bad. Yeah,
that's like if you're thinking about like some of these players, though, if you live in England, you think England gets you that kind of weather? You're lucky you get back to that in the summertime. This is hot for a lot of people there.
Yeah, it's extremely hot for them.
I mean,
yeah.
myself living in Texas, you living in Charleston, that's nothing. That's like early fall weather for us. Most of the country, this is hot. Like
yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Yeah, but another thing though is the fact that they got the weather, but the alcohol thing is the biggest thing because I don't know if you saw at the beginning, but at the beginning when Qatar agreed that okay, yes, we're gonna have the World Cup and everything, when they said they were gonna have the World Cup, they kind of agreed that they in their negotiations they said yes, it's fine, we can have alcohol and all that stuff, but 2 days before the world's biggest event gets launched, they just completely ban it and say no, that's not allowed. But people were still drinking, right, Nate?
You know what the FIFA president said? The FIFA president said you can go 2 to 3 hours of alcohol. You know what?
That's what they said.
I'm sorry. I want my Budweiser. If I'm going to World Cup and they sponsor my Budweiser, I want a Budweiser. I'm gonna go there. I want my beer.
Yeah, like, Nate wants his beer, guys. So if you have any donations for the show, send it to Nate because he needs a beer, guys.
Yeah,
help a man out. He's thirsty. But yeah, literally, I'm telling you, it's crazy the fact that they banned it honestly 2 days before because that's a big thing to people. I mean,
you know what they didn't ban? They didn't ban alcohol in the suites. So if you're one of them rich people in Qatar paying $20,000 a ticket, you can have all the champagne and beer you want. But the casual fan cannot get alcohol.
And the casual fan is going to be the one who's drinking because they're thinking about all the money they spend on these tickets, and they're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I spent $1,000 on the tickets." I looked it up earlier today; it was $1,000 to get a ticket for that game earlier to the U.S. versus Wales. And that's just for general admission. This is general admission, just $1,000. Imagine paying $1,000 for a game. I would want to start drinking too. And another thing too that's really funny is the fact that they have. I saw like online that they had like a few different bars, and it's only like I think it was only like 2 or 3 bars. Like it's a very small amount of bars in like Qatar, like Dubai, like that the surrounding area that are the only bars that you can drink from like legally and have like they're the only like licensed ones. They're licensed by the government. So I guarantee you those bars are going crazy right now because they know. They know it gets banned.
A bunch of drunk soccer fans, they're going crazy.
Oh, 100%. But no, think about it, though. You think about it. So they all go plan their trip there, right? All these people going, I think it was like it was like 40,000 people that were planning to show up to the event. 40,000 people show up, right? Yeah. 2 days before they have their all plans and you're lined up and everything. You can't drink beer. That's a lot of people's that's a big component of everyone's plans. Party. Yeah. So then literally, what are you going to do? Oh, I'll just go to the 2 bars that are here in the whole city. Like, bro, I feel like so many people went to those bars. Like, it's going to be like crazy.
That's probably not cheap either. I bet that's an expensive country to drink at too, because it's like morally not right in their country to drink. So they probably tax the crap out of it.
That's so true. Yeah, the tax for alcohol in Dubai is like I think either 100% or 50%, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's literally like it's crazy high. I'll look it up just because I want to say the right number. But yeah, it's insane though. Literally. Do is there any other people that are allowed to drink or just those people in the suites?
I mean, it's just how it's always been. These kind of like corrupt countries like this, you're gonna have like the people at the top getting what they want. They don't really care what the other people want. They're gonna want to drink and kind of get what they want to do and have their parties, make their fans and people they just kind of support happy. So of course I'm gonna have all the alcohol there
Yeah,
and
so
look the other way.
Yeah, so literally I just looked it up. I was right. It was 50% heavily taxed, and then you have another 30% if you have a liquor license and buy alcohol for a home consumption. So yeah, it's kind of crazy how much they tax over there for alcohol. And it's like it's so interesting because Dubai is a country that it's like
Guitar,
it's honestly like say what?
guitar.
Oh
It's
yeah,
good.
or Qatar. Yeah, literally, it's like it's so crazy because of the fact that it's like so opposite. Like all those Middle Eastern countries, it's so opposite from what we're used to in America. And I know it's crazy for a lot of people, but it's like, in America, we're all about I mean, it's all about your freedom. You can do whatever you want, your freedom to make your own decisions for yourself. In
Yeah,
Dubai, Qatar, all those Middle Eastern countries, it's the complete opposite. They have a very strict code of things you need to follow, and if you don't follow that, you're punished very heavily with either taxes, getting deported, jail time. I mean, it's
yeah.
serious over there. I mean, you literally steal something over there in Dubai. I mean, it could be anything. You steal anything. I mean, some countries, I don't know which one exactly, but one of them you get your hand chopped off. Like it's that serious. Like they are very serious on the punishment. So that's why it's like I think that does deter people. But then at the same time, it's like, it does deter people from the fact that, if they do accidentally commit a crime of some sort like this, or, they're kind of afraid of it, they're fearful of that. So it's an interesting way and perspective that they live over there. So
But you know what's okay in Qatar?
what?
Trying to bribe Ecuadorian soccer players.
I heard about that. Yeah, I saw that on what was it? Business
Yeah, I
topics.
saw an article from like Business Today
This is
that
today. That's what it was.
said Qatar bribed 8 Ecuadorian soccer players. So
Oh,
Qatar was trying to rig the match so Qatar wins opening day on Sunday to win 1-0 from in a goal in the second half. They lost 2-0. I'm
oh.
happy. Go Ecuador.
God, that's just a turn of events right there. It's a plot
Come
twist.
on. Like, why are you trying to bribe and rig the World Cup already on day one? And they're
Yeah.
terrible hiding about it. Like, how do I know about it? I should know about that.
Nate, if we know about it, that's not a good sign, right?
Yeah,
No, the
exactly.
the funniest part about it is that they literally had allegations against them earlier. I don't know if they were true or not. I'm just gonna say they're allegations. They had allegations of them literally bribing people to win the bid to host the World Cup.
Well,
And
that's
that
every country. That's every U.S. probably did. They win 2026. The FIFA is one of the most corrupt organizations out there with the World Cup, the Olympics, all that.
really.
And they do this all the time.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm
That's
sure
not
there is a lot of corruption, but I do remember seeing something about that at the beginning. Everyone was like, "No, no, no, it was fair." They're all denying it. They're like, "No, no, it's
Of
perfectly
course, they
fine." And
all
then,
deny it.
huh?
Of course, they all deny
I
it.
know I'm saying, but like they denied it, and then now it's coming out again, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know what to talk." I guess it just keeps happening. I don't know what's going on here. It's like, okay, yeah, we definitely believe you. Like, yeah.
I mean,
So
everyone knows some hush hush back deals getting the World Cup, like because when you bring that, you're bringing so many tourists around the world. There's a lot of money involved to be made.
that's
Local
very true.
businesses, like your whole entire economy, tax money, everything.
That's very true. And I know some of those countries over there, like in the Middle East, are very immigrant focused. Like I know, I mean, upwards of like 80% of the people that are there are actually immigrants that are actually from other countries traveling there. So yeah, it definitely brings in a lot of tourism. I mean, tourism in those Middle Eastern countries is huge. Like it's like one of the biggest money makers for them.
Not will.
Not, I mean, I'm sure that factors in a little bit. I'm sure it factors in a little bit, but yeah, it's
All
it's
right,
crazy though, honestly. But
Devin, we need your take right now for the
yeah,
podcast. Who is winning the World Cup?
Who's winning the World Cup? See, this is an interesting
We're
question.
clipping this right now. You can come back and say you were right.
All right. What's our wager? Do we have a wager or like what's going on? Like
I will say right now, the betting markets love Brazil and Argentina.
I was gonna say Brazil. Brazil is the one I'm thinking of because of the fact that they just got so many good people. I mean, they got Marcelo. They got. I mean, God. Brazil. I'm always like a big fan of, especially with like Neymar and everything. I'm a big Neymar fan, but I honestly think they're gonna win it because honestly they got good odds and they got a lot of really solid people on their team right now, and they just been killing it. Who do you have? I gotta know. Who do you have?
Man, I mean, I'm always been a German soccer fan. I think they have it. I mean, Jamal Musiala has looked amazing for Bayern. I can see him doing great in his first World Cup here with Germany. I mean, we have a lot of great players. I think we have the deepest goalkeepers out there, and preventing people from scoring goals is like most of the game right here. If you can find the back of the net when you're an aggressive team and off the counterattack and everything, but keep people out of your goal is big. And if you think about it, also physically and size speaking, those German players tend to be a lot bigger. A lot of these like South American players, they're tiny people, like when you have these guys who are 6 feet plus, 6'2", huge guys playing soccer, your defense is that physical strength and is going to go a long way. So I think, I mean, I like Germany here, but we'll see if I'm right.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm feeling good about it. I think honestly Brazil is I think they're going to do really good, but I mean they have so much good talent. That's the thing. They have really good talent and they have really good like people like on their team. So that's why I think
Mhm.
I need to stop looking up things on Google because my just looked at my battery. We're at 28% right now, so we're holding strong right now. We still got a little bit of ways to go. So yeah, let me lower the brightness a little bit. But yeah, literally, it's gonna be a really fun matchup. I'm excited for it.
All right, man. I got a question for you. I have some strong opinions about this, so I'm curious what you think.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift.
Oh my gosh, are you talking about the Taylor Swift news that happened with the?
Taylor Swift and Ticketmaster. This is a huge debacle. What do you think about this whole entire situation?
I think it's crazy the fact that they canceled it. Right? Didn't they cancel all the tickets after everyone was freaking
They
out?
they canceled general sale. The people who pre-sale. So basically, to summarize what happened in a way from what I heard and my understanding of it. I'm a terrible source, but
It's okay.
basically,
I believe you.
what happened is with right now with all these pre-sale codes, they hand out pre-sale codes to specific people just so people can have like a VIP access. But with the internet, people are sharing all the pre-sale codes. So none of these pre-sale codes like differentiate people person to person. So you can like share all these codes, and everyone in the pre-sale is essentially effectively the general sale because everyone who wants to get the tickets are signing up and going to these things and getting tickets. So now they're pretty much sold out of tickets for the general sale because they all bought up in the pre-sale. That's kind of what happened here. And now you just have this giant inflation in prices because Ticketmaster couldn't handle the volume of bringing in people to their pre-sale that people were sitting by their computers hours on hours waiting for an opportunity to buy tickets.
God,
Personally, I'm not a Taylor Swift fan. Like I appreciate her talent. She's a great singer, but I don't find it entertaining. I don't see how people are paying thousands and thousands of dollars for these tickets. Someone listed it for $95,000. Who's paying $95,000?
honestly, Nate, I've seen some of these these Swifty fans. I'll tell you what, they will pay that amount of money, and I'll tell you what, they will definitely. It was funny. We were at my law school. I know they were talking about it. All the girls were talking about how, oh my gosh, you gotta go see the Taylor Swift concert. Everyone's freaking out. This is great, Nate. Just as we started launching our podcast, so we were starting to get popular. We got 1,000 likes on TikTok. All the stuff. Now we're gonna get attacked by all the Swifty haters and all the Swifty like supporters. This is gonna be great. So we're gonna have so many haters now. It's gonna be awesome. Right after we're starting to finally blow up and everything. So
All
this
right, I'm here to speak for all the guys out there who are too afraid to say it.
is.
Taylor Swift reminds me. Okay, so when I'm driving in a car, I hate using Siri and Apple Maps. Siri and Apple Maps just sounds like a backseat driver. You're sitting in the car, 6.9 miles, turn right, and 3 minutes later, 3.4 miles, turn left. Like, come on, you don't need to do this all the time. She's just a backseat driver, and Taylor Swift reminds me of that. Just like that, like loud, high pitched voice in my ear. Like, just get out of there. I don't need to hear it.
Yeah,
I'd
she
rather
is.
some classic rock or some jazz or something. Like that's just not more soothing for my ears.
Yeah, she is such a taxi driver. Honestly, like she is like I honestly I don't think of anyone who could drive a better taxi than her because she's that good of a taxi driver.
Are you sure? It probably crashed a car all over New York City.
Crash the car because you're trying to attack her to stop singing or something. Like, oh my gosh, yeah, that'd be so funny. But yeah, Swifty, they should have honestly had Swifty for the show, the World Cup. Because I mean, shoot, if you're paying 95,000 for a ticket, I mean, I'm sure you get a lot of really good artists, and you get Swifty and a few other people too. I mean, for the World Cup, I mean, jeez,
Would you pay $95,000 for any artist?
for any, I mean, no. I mean,
Yeah, it's one concert for like a 3-hour concert. You're paying $95,000.
I was trying to think, like, maybe if it's like a really good seat, you get backstage passes. But then again, it's $95,000. I mean, who has that much money to drop on freaking tickets?
That's more than a Tesla. We'll buy like 2 Teslas.
Are you allowed to like finance these tickets, or you literally have to reach into your bank account and pull out like $100,000 and just give it to these people?
Oh, no,
I don't know. We need to get to the bottom of this, Nate. We need to see if we can crowdfund a way to.
Your mom probably knows. If anyone knows, your mom.
Maybe, or my dad or someone. I don't know. Maybe I gotta ask people on the side of the street or the taxi drivers. I don't know. We could ask anybody, literally. But we'll have to figure it out. But yeah, literally, it's crazy. I know they had like a show, like a pre-show at the for Dubai. You got to look it up, Nate, because my computer's about to die. But you have to tell me who it was, because I know it was a bunch of people, and they had I know they had some good people, but yeah, they had that. But yeah, I think this whole World Cup is going to be really interesting. This World Cup is actually the shortest World Cup that they've ever had in history, which is super interesting because, everyone's playing so much, getting the competition so close together, and, everyone's tired. And so it's going to be a grind. But I mean, at the same time, everyone's going to be giving it their all. And I think the team with the most drive are going to be the people who actually win it, because they're going to be the ones who are actually have the drive to be able to put in that energy, that extra mile, because, all the teams are trained. All the teams are doing great physically and mentally, but I feel like the people that have that extra leg up, the ones that really want it, are the ones that are actually going to succeed this World Cup, especially.
Yeah, I think the Germans have the extra drive,
Really?
No, but I mean, it makes sense why it's the shortest World Cup. If you think about it, we're in the middle of the season. I mean, a lot of these players are in like mid-season form too, and they're probably trying to rush to get back and to continue the Champions League, continue their season play. But
yeah, very true. Very true. And so much exciting stuff is happening in Qatar too. I bet the people are loving it. I remember I saw something earlier. They were just freaking out. They're like, yeah, we love the World Cup. This is awesome. Like, I think it's so funny. Yeah, I mean, like, what does the Middle East not do nowadays? I mean, they make crazy high buildings. I mean, they host the World Cup. I even saw they have a mega yacht that they're building now, the biggest yacht in the world. I have to bring it up, Nate. I have to bring it up. This is like the one topic I wanted to bring up in the podcast. Nate was like, do not bring this up on the show because we do not need to talk about this. But I have to bring it up because the fact that
it looks stupid.
It is stupid, but I love it. That's the thing. I love it. It's literally the biggest yacht in the world in the shape of a sea turtle. In the shape of a sea turtle. I mean, where do you get these ideas from? I mean, literally, it's crazy. They have so much money. They're making a mega yacht. It's literally, it's almost like a state or like a city. Like, this yacht is huge. And they have so many, like thousands of people that can be on it. And it's in the shape of a freaking sea turtle. I mean, what? Who comes up with these ideas? It's crazy. It's going to be floating and everything. But anyway, sorry, Nate. I had to sidetrack to say that. But I just had to say it. I want to talk about it so bad. But how would you feel? Would you get a ticket for that? For the sea turtle?
Probably not. Okay, to be honest, I have not been on any cruises, and I don't know if that's something I would do or have done. But
well, you know what, Nate? We're owed like 3 Dubai trips right now because we're at what, like 40 subscribers right now? I think that's equal to 3 Dubai trips. So hey, we can fit a sea turtle cruise into that. I'm sure we could. I'm sure it's doable for sure. That'd be so funny. But no, did you see who the people were that were on that were like the singers, the concert people? Did you look it up?
Oh no, I didn't know that.
That's okay. Yeah, I was just like casually just stalling until you pulled that up. That's okay.
I didn't know.
No worries. Yeah. Guys, if you're wondering, this is how the show usually goes. I bring on all these ideas and Nate's like, no, it's fine. We'll just whatever.
I bring up other ideas and
We'll get through it. At the end of the day, we're just having a
Hey,
friendly
guys,
conversation.
next week we'll both be in the same city, so you might be able to get a live version of this podcast.
That's right. That's right. Special announcement. Good catch. Nate's actually on the ball with the time because we only have 3 minutes left.
So be sure to tune in next week, guys. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We can react to more World Cup and more crazy things. And
Yes.
I hope you guys all have a good Thanksgiving.
Yes, guys. Have an amazing Thanksgiving. Thank you all for tuning in. Like always, thank you for subscribing and liking. It helps us out so much.
We
You
appreciate
know,
the support.
yeah, you know how the algorithm is. You got to like and subscribe, or else, we don't get any views, and then we got to stop, and then we got to take a trip to Dubai, film more content. So we just really appreciate it, guys, that you like and subscribe, and we really appreciate all of you guys for all of your support so far. We are blowing up right now and on all the social medias, and we really, really appreciate it because you guys are making our dreams come true. We've always want to have a podcast and a
We
show like
always want to
this.
go to Dubai. We just want to go to Dubai.
We just want to go to Dubai. This is what it's for. Because, we've been talking about it for so long now. Honestly, people think we're like part of the government or something, like spies or something. There's just so much stuff going on in the Middle East. We just cannot help but to talk about it. It's just so easy to talk about. But yeah, there's so much going on. But we are super excited for the live show next week. That's going to be amazing. You're going to get to see us at a new set. There, we're going to have a live show, and it's going to be awesome. We'll have some fun things planned and fun surprises. So really, really looking forward to it, guys. Do we have any other fun topics that we had to mention to let our viewers know about? Is there anything else, Nate?
Nothing else I can think of in the last few seconds.
That's all right. That's all right. A few seconds. We could talk about something new. I'm just kidding. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend and a happy Thanksgiving and enjoy the World Cup. And we'll see you guys next week. I'm Dev.
I'm Nate.
And we'll see you guys next week. Have a good one. Peace.
Yep.